Can you believe it's Wednesday already? Can you believe it's time for a new story already? Can you believe that we're here live already? I am live. This is not Memorex, and I am your host, Lisa Santiago McNeill. I am excited to join you guys on today. My special guest is going to help us to get in the zone. We are going to talk about it. Listen, I want to tell you a little bit about what's coming up this weekend in case you didn't know. First of all, last weekend we had an amazing time with the Empowerment Author Showcase, the Love and Romance Spoken Word Edition. It was fantastic. If you missed it, you can still catch the replay on the Empowerment Duo page for another day or two. I'm telling you, our spoken words artists brought it. If you need some help priming those romantic pumps, baby, those spoken word artists dropped the lyrics for you. It was awesome. But now, this Saturday is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little something for the kids. So parents, grandparents, get your kids, get your nieces and your nephews. This is going to be children's book edition. When I say children's book editions, I'm talking about Black and brown authors with characters that reflect powerful images of Black and brown superheroes, children, and it is just awesome and just what we need for Black History Month. I mean, right? We need to celebrate all of the wealth and deliciousness that we have in our network. So we're bringing it to you here on Saturday, this Saturday at 4 p.m. You need to be here. We are going to have The Prince Who Made Me Queen, the author of The Prince Who Made Me Queen and The Prince 8 and the 3 Bank series, Miss Myra Foster. We will have the 3 King boys, the young King men. All 3 of them are authors, and they'll be here with their books. We will have Miss Shanrika Benjamin. Will be showcasing her book, Kids Love Money. They just don't understand it. I am excited that my 2 books will be featured, The Tiniest Little Acorn and Raised by Chickens, along with my husband's book, which is Mr. Randall the Rhino and Why Rhinos Make Great Salespeople. I'm telling you, it's going to be an awesome story time had by all. Also going to get an appearance from Mikey, the young kidpreneur who is also an authorpreneur. He is going to be on, and I'm telling you. Oh, one more young lady, Kayla Penn, with her book, Run, Kayla, Run, who is a junior Olympian, also a beautiful young woman. 10, I think she's 10. She may have just turned 11, a published best-selling author, and a junior Olympian. Mind-blowing, all of the amazingness that is coming up under one roof at one time. So tune in on Saturday at 4 p.m. and you will be able to access all of their links, order their books, meet the authors, all of that good stuff, and you'll be able to do it right here on Facebook Live. Now, I'm going to tell you about my guest because, first of all, I just love her energy and I can't wait for you to get to meet her. But her commitment, much like mine, is to help coaches and consultants and thought leaders that desire to make an impact on the world to build the businesses of their dreams. She is known for her social selling systems, and her goal is to help you serve, share, and shine. She understands the challenges that come with social media, and her desire is to help you to get your authentic message into the marketplace and attract who you are called to serve. I would love to introduce to you and present to some Miss Turiya Hodge. Take your mute off so that we can hear your beautiful voice. There you go. Hey, Turiya.
Thank you. Wow, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Lisa. It's an honor, to finally sit down and have a chat with you.
Yes, and that's exactly what I wanted to feel like. Just 2 girls chopping it up, 2 divas in business power women, okay? Or
yes.
okay.
can never get that tongue roll right. I wouldn't even try it on
Oh,
camera today.
I love it. So, Turiya, before we jump into everything, your story of overcoming all that, why don't you share with the audience a little bit about you and whatever you want them to know about you?
Oh my gosh, what is it do I want the audience to know about me? Well, first of all, I am, oh gosh, I have to say, Lisa, I can't let it go. I'm a proud grandma. Okay, so that's what's happening in my life right now. I'm a proud grandma to a 1 year old baby Amai, and so she is just keeping me full of life and full of energy. But just like many others, I'm a mompreneur. I'm beautiful 3 kids, and live both places. So 6 months of the year I live on the continental US, and the other half of the year, with the exception of COVID, I've been here for like a year and a half now, but usually 6 months in the Virgin Islands. So I am just enjoying this thing called life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the things that we love to focus and feature here on Stories of Overcoming Live with Lisa Santiago is that so many of the amazing entrepreneurs that I connect with, heart-centered entrepreneurs that I connect with, became who they are because of something that they went through and overcame. Why don't you share with us a little bit about your story?
Oh my gosh, mine was 4 words. Okay. So I stepped on to my entrepreneurial journey probably about 8, 9 years ago. Because
Hmm.
I absolutely don't count the first year. The first year, I think all I did was sleep the first year. And then after I got over, hi, Sarita. After I got over the first year, then I said, okay, it's time for me to wake up and do some work. But I
Hmm.
remember just stepping onto this journey, and someone said 4 words to me. And the words were, you're not ready yet. You're
Wow.
not ready yet. And when I tell
You're
you,
not.
that just changed the trajectory and the scope of how my entrepreneurship journey would turn out. So the good
Mm.
news is they said I wasn't ready yet, but that didn't mean I quit. I didn't quit. Okay.
Right.
What I did is that I dedicated for the first, 4, 5, 6 years of my
Mm.
entrepreneurial journey being the behind the scenes and support person for a lot of top influential brands. Okay.
Mm.
And, I think I stayed like in the mindset of, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. There's
Mhm.
always so much to learn. And it was such a journey, a wonderful journey, being able to support and be the behind the scenes person of a lot of brands. I saw a lot of things, launched a lot of wonderful campaigns, just an
Mhm.
amazing journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I personally serve a lot of behind the scenes as well, right? I spent a lot of years feeling like that was my role. Like
Hmm.
that was the intended role for me, was behind the scenes, because I'm a great number two. I know how to lift people up. I know how to handle the ancillary stuff. I understood the interworkings and the importance of the behind the scenes stuff. But there came a time where that pushed to the front of the room. Now, did you experience that?
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years ago when I really had that, sit down moment, that heart to heart moment. And I call it like the come to Jesus moment.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
We all have that time when we're like just faced where we're now on bended knees, face in the palm of your hands, and you're just asking the Lord, what is it? Can you please tell me? Right. And I started to ask myself, one question. And the question was, what is it that's blocking me from getting, to my next level of success? So what was the blocker? Because here's the thing, like I felt because I supported and I was behind the scenes and had a lot of experience, like I thought when I stepped out, to build my own brand, everything would
Mhm.
be easy peasy. Like I literally remember saying, like, how hard can it be? Like I know all of this stuff, right? So I know the systems, I know the tools, I know all of this stuff because I've done it for others. So
Right,
it should be no problem for me to turn around and do the same thing for myself.
right.
And boy, it was
Absolutely.
rude awakening for me.
That's so funny. That's so funny. And it's actually so similar because it's similar and it's different at the same time. So for me, a lot of what I learned, I intended to apply to myself and my business. This is after stepping from behind the number two, when I published my book.
Okay.
When I first published my first book, Discover Your Why, A Journey to Wholeness, it was my intention to follow some processes that I had learned and to really launch and catapult from there with that book. What happened was a little bit different. What happened was that there were a lot of people who began to come to me. Instead of coming to me for coaching, which is why I launched my book to launch my coaching program. They
Uh-huh.
came to me with, can you publish my book for me? Can you help me to publish my book?
Mm.
And so I created systems that matched that business much more effectively than, and my focus was much more intentional on helping others to build and grow. So absolutely understanding that thought. So then I thought, okay, now I can go back and I can take everything that I did for them
Mhm.
successfully and I can apply it to me. And it is a whole different story.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely say that, and I love two things that you mentioned, right? So you use one of my favorite things is the why, right? And so that was one of the things that I had to get present to, like why? Why am I doing this? Okay,
Yes.
because it became really tough and really hard, and I had some challenges, and I remember sharing with my audience. There was a time when in 1 month I lost 5 clients in 1 month, right? And
Mhm.
when you go through that period, when something like that happens, you're forced to sit and think about, what is it, that you're either doing or you're not doing in your business. And then the second thing you mentioned is the systems, right? What are the systems,
Right.
that you're using? But here's the thing, for me, the biggest thing that stood out for me is, even though I knew all of the technicalities and the technical pieces and everything, I found myself still hiding.
Mm.
And I was very famous, for hiding behind all of the automations, hiding behind all of the promotions and everything. And when I say hiding, it's one of the biggest questions that I get now from clients when it comes to social media, right?
Hmm.
Like, what is it that you put out there on social media that would allow you to attract your divine clients? And I
Right.
realized that I was hiding too, because I, didn't feel comfortable, or wanted people to get to know, like, the real Turiya. I could stay in the vein of training. And I remember, I would open up trainings just like this, like, hey, this is what we are here to learn. And I love teaching. And I
Yeah.
would go right into my teaching material. But ask me to share a story, ask me to share something about me. It was like the hardest thing. And I remember, like, the first time I took a speaker training program, like,
Hmm.
I hit out for imagine this, I hit out for the 4 days of the program. So you enroll in a program, it's for 4 days. And, like, literally you go through the 4 days, you consume all of the material,
Hmm.
and just literally don't want them to call you to the stage to share your story. So the last day, I'm like kind of hiding out, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna forget me. No one is gonna, realize that I didn't take the stage and share my story.
No,
And
no,
I remember
no.
being the last person, and they say, hey, we noticed that you did not share your story. And they called me up to the stage. And Lisa, I opened my mouth to speak,
Uh-huh.
and nothing came out.
Oh.
What came out instead was a flood of tears. And I stood up in front of an audience of about 45 people, and I just literally cried. And I
Wow.
was so mortified, right? And that just caused me, to shrink even more. So now I teach entrepreneurs, is like, and coaches and consultants and the thought leaders, even though we all possess a skill, we all have that it thing that we do it in our business. It really you can't bring the gel together unless people get the opportunity to know who you are
That's
and
right.
why you're called to serve.
That's
And so,
absolutely right.
yeah, so I say it all the time. I ask the question, knowing who you're called to serve is so important, but also knowing why you're called to serve,
Absolutely.
which ties into your purpose, is, the most important thing. And then that way, you have the opportunity to call the people who are divinely appointed to you to work. And I'm
Absolutely.
telling you, when I got that, Lisa, is like everything shifted in my business. It wasn't about me
Yep.
going out there finding clients anymore. I was just pulling them to me and working like it's not even work anymore. I tell people like this smile, like the smile doesn't go away. So like, oh, you're always smiling. That's because I'm really and truly happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brian and I were actually having that conversation, I want to say a couple of days ago, but it's been a few times, hence that it was just moments of gratitude. We express gratitude deliberately and intentionally, consistently, because it is one of the key components to the success of anything that you ever want to do. But to actually be grateful that you can wake up, alarm clock or not, with a smile and an anxiousness to serve the ones that God has assigned to you. Nobody has to force
It's a game
us.
changer.
It is. It is
Yeah.
a blessing. It is a blessing. That's right, Sarita. Knowing who you are here to serve is so important. Knowing who and knowing why.
Yes.
Those are two critical components of knowing that you are fulfilling your purpose. And if you can tap into those two things, you can really ramp up because, like you said, you will begin to attract the ones who are for you. And it won't be a matter of can I? It will be a matter of do you have the ability to serve as many as are being released to you? And that is just such a blessing.
Yeah.
That's such a blessing.
Yeah.
Now,
I love that.
I do love that. Now, I do want to. I want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit more about this SHINE acronym.
Ah, yes. Oh my gosh. So, as I emerge from behind the scenes, right, shine is my call to action. And when I talk about shine, I talk about five specific things. And I'm going to link these things like right back to social media because once again, I fell in love with social media as a new entrepreneur because it was literally the thing that allowed me to like propel in my business even as a new entrepreneur when I didn't have like plenty of resources or anything like that. I learned very quickly that social media is the place,
Yeah.
to be. And then I started to teach strategies, to other entrepreneurs as well. But when I talk about shine, I talk about five specific things. And the first thing in shine is showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found is a lot of people struggle with showing up on social media. They struggle with showing up powerfully, and they also struggle with showing up consistently. So that's the first thing. You want to show up powerfully and you want to show up consistently on social media. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to once again build your brand awareness and give your audience the opportunity to do those three words like, know, and trust you.
Absolutely. The know, like, and trust factor is
Yeah.
really why I encourage so many new entrepreneurs to publish and to create podcasts or Facebook
Yeah.
Live or something, because you've got to leverage what you have, which is an opportunity to share your knowledge to the masses so that you can give them the opportunity to get to know who you are. Now, that's showing up, and what you said, powerfully and consistently, is
Yes.
critical. It has been for me a game changer. I've been podcasting for 5 years. I was video podcasting when Facebook was all crooked and everything was, and you couldn't do a green screen and everything was,
Yes.
the technology was sketchy. We were here
Yeah.
figuring it out. but we were here every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then fast forward, now we're 5 years later. We have a whole network where we have other content contributors that are benefiting from our platforms as well. But one of the main things is consistency was almost more important than powerful. You want both.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to say, it's like one of the things like people really struggle with, like how to be consistent, right?
Yes,
And the thing is, you have to, like anything else, you have to plan to be consistent. So that's
absolutely.
one of the things that I teach too, how to plan to be consistent.
So what's number two?
So number two is honing in. Okay. So that's the second secret. So honing in, who are you called to serve? And that's the reason why I ask the question all the time, because every time I ask my superstars, that's what I call my community, my superstars, to share with me who they serve. It's an opportunity for them to get very clear in knowing who they are called to serve. And then secondly, honing in on your message. So a lot of times, and Lisa, I love that you do this with the V team. You and Brian do this wonderful thing that you have us share our introductions in 1 minute. So you could only share your introduction in 1 minute when you know specifically how you serve in your business. And so that's one of the things that I talk about, is being that specific, that clear, that you know who you're called to serve and you know your messaging in the marketplace. So once again, you're able to attract those people to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Number three.
Number three is my favorite one, which is the buzzword. I think over the past, year, I've seen a lot of this word like popping up, right? And it's influence. And everyone, I'm an influencer. I'm an influencer. And one of the things that you learn about me, I love to study stuff, right? And so I was just like, you know what? Everyone is using this word, influencer, and everybody wants to be an influencer. But exactly what does being an influencer mean? And in my definition, it's just simple. It's being able to inspire others to action. So when you take a look at your business, what you do, how you're called to serve, do you inspire your audience and do you inspire your clients to take action? And it's more than just saying it. We have to live it. So are you a person of influence?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that so much of today's culture has almost watered down the influencer.
Hmm.
If they're flashy, if they have a lot of money, if they whatever those things are. And I love that you said if you can inspire someone to take action, because that is so critical for us in our business. It was not, I don't want everybody to buy my shirt. I don't want everybody to look like me. I want everybody to be influenced to become their best, most authentic self. I want everyone to be influenced to realize that even the setbacks that you've had in your life were there to intentionally create a knowledge in you that you would not have signed up for if you knew ahead of time what you had to go through to get it.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So it's not about, I love how you said it. You're not encouraging people or saying, "Hey, be like me," but it's to be your authentic self, because we
Like
all
you.
have people, right, that we are divinely called to serve. So show up and live, run your business like how you run your life, right? I know that sounds
Absolutely.
crazy, but that's it. People are supposed to see your level of influence on both levels.
Absolutely. And I think that that is so, so key and so critical. So, number four.
And number four is nurture. So it is all about the relationships. And this is one of the things that it's so easy, to forget and so easy to overlook when it comes to social media and when it comes to the digital space. So a lot of times on social media, people just want to remain on the social media platforms, right? But how do you turn, your digital connections into real life relationships? And that's what it's
Absolutely.
all about, is having that focus that you are going to build relationships, because true relationships is the thing that really matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I want, for those who've just joined us, I want you to know that my amazing guest for today is Miss Turiya Hodge, the social media strategist. We're going through her beautiful acronym called SHINE. Now, Turiya, you do have a few ways for people to stay connected from you with you, to be nurtured, to gain more information. I want to go ahead and share a little bit about your Facebook group, if you would.
Yes, so that's the best way to stay connected with me. I do have a community that's called Social Media Saturdays, helping you to serve, share, and shine. And this is an awesome community, once again, for coaches. If you're a consultant, you're a thought leader, a business leader, and you just want to know how to leverage the power of social media in your business. So we meet every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a live broadcast. And this is where people come, to get the most pressing questions about social media answered. So I always make sure that I share the latest tips, the latest tools, and the latest strategies when it comes to social media. So Social Media Saturday.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So now listen, we're going to get to that last little nugget in Shine. So we've got Shine, which is showing up, honing in, influencing with your skills and gifts and talents, nurturing the relationships. And number five,
Number 5 is the experience. And then this one is the tricky one. Okay, because it's what is the experience, or how are people feeling when they encounter you? So what's the impression that you're going to leave? And
mm,
here's why this is so tricky on social media. One of the things that I hear all the time is, oh my gosh, I made this post and no one liked, no one commented, no one shared the post. I did a video and absolutely it was crickets. So does it make sense for me to do these videos? It's a lot of time, it's a lot of work. So I don't want to do it anymore, right?
oh,
And one of the things that, I share, because I also had to learn this, is that people are experiencing us before we know that they're experiencing us.
oh
And
my goodness.
a lot of times we want to wait until after a sale takes place to create the experience. And a lot of people don't realize the experience happens way before the sale. So
Yeah.
people are watching our videos, even though they might not comment, they might not say anything. Because I know what's happened to you, Lisa. Someone reached out, said, "Hey, Lisa, I want to work with you." And then I saw this video, or I watched all these videos, and you're like, I didn't even know that they were there. I didn't even see them comment. They said nothing. So the
So,
question.
Sharia, let me tell you, once again, like I said, we've been doing this for 5 years. And
Mhm.
there were times in the beginning, we're like, okay, we're here 9 a.m. We started out with a 15-minute show. We had like 3 regular viewers who convinced us to do 30 minutes, and then they convinced us to do an hour, but we're still
Mhm.
like, there's like 3 people here,
Yeah.
sometimes none. And like we're like, okay, how what are we doing? Why are we going to stay here? But it is often what you said is their experience in their own time, in their own
Yeah.
space. But not only that, it takes 15 years for an overnight success to be created. And a
Um,
lot of time, I believe that God is giving us the opportunity to prove that you're doing this because you're called to do this. You're not doing this because you want all the likes. You're not doing this because you want to keep giving people having your face in the camera. You're doing this because you genuinely want to serve the community with the experience that you are providing for them.
is that heart of service. And same here, Lisa. I've been doing social media Saturdays going on 5 years now. And one of the things that people said to me is like, why are you doing the show? Like, why do you get up like every Saturday morning and give all of that information away and da whatever it is they say, right? And I was just like, you know what? This is how I'm truly called to serve. And
Right.
and I'm going to tell you, it didn't happen overnight, right? But there were lessons in that. So when I talk about showing up and being consistent in showing up, I had to go through that experience so I could know what it feels like, so I could teach somebody else how to be consistent with their social
Oh
media.
my
Which
goodness.
means how it
Faithful.
works. See, that's how it works. Okay. And then
Absolutely.
building the build, and when we talk about experience, are you able to do it like joyfully? Are you going to be the same person on show number one, you know, at the same person on show thousand, a thousand and something, right? And that's the experience. So when people are experiencing you, what are they getting? And that's the thing that most people say, you know what? I love it. You're consistent. You're consistent across the board. And it goes right back to that like, know, and trust factor. So sometimes we don't give people the opportunity to like, know, and trust us. Okay. And I always challenge, clients, I challenge my audience. Think about how you engage with the people that you work with. You don't just see somebody show up today and you go, oh, well, I'm going to work with that person. And this is the first time.
No.
You check them out. Right. And the one thing that you want to know is that person going to be there for you when you need that person to be there for you? So,
Absolutely.
experience. What's the experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, listen, you are tuning in right here on Stories of Overcoming with Elisa Santiago McNeill and my special guest, Turiya Hodge. I'm so excited to have her here. I am telling you, you can catch us here live on Facebook. You can catch the replay wherever you consume your podcast. Just say, Alexa, Stories of Overcoming with Lisa Santiago McNeill, and she'll play it for you. I want to tell you, Turiya, the whole acronym for SHINE is amazing. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I love the concept of social media Saturdays. Guys, you can go to bit.ly/social media Saturdays and check her out, but become part of the Facebook group. Go to smsnetworking.com and connect with Turiya there, as well as on Instagram. You can connect at Watch SMS Live. And on Twitter, if that's where you consume your content, you can go to Watch SMS Live. Turiya, last words, last thoughts, last comments, last anything for the audience.
I just want to say once again, shine is the calling card. And so I am encouraging everyone, to stop hiding. It's your time to show up and serve, and it's your time to show up and shine.
There you go. Thank you so much. Please hang out for me in the green room for just a moment. Shine. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope that you enjoyed some of the time that you spent with us here today. Go ahead and catch the replay and figure out what elements of your shine you need to turn up so that you can get the best out of your life. These stories of overcoming are to influence you to realize that the worst is behind you, the best is in front of you, and meanwhile, keep walking on water. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill. I love you until next week.